Welcome everyone to Selenium Training by Wisdom Trainings. And today in this video we will be taking a look at how we can configure our Selenium with the Eclipse. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding the course or the video, you can go on the website and the free video section and drop your doubts or questions in the Speak Your Mind section. Okay, now when I say that I want to configure my Selenium, I need to get Selenium in my system. So what I can do is I just directly go to the I'll go to the official website of Selenium, and over here are the downloads link, and over here in the Python I'll go to download, and you can see it's giving me a command pip install Selenium, and I can use this command on my command prompt as well. So I'll open my command prompt as administrator, and over here I'll just give the same command pip install Selenium. Now as soon as I'll press enter, it will start collecting all the relevant files to get it installed properly. I already have Selenium in my system, so it's giving me that requirement is already satisfied. But in your case, if you are downloading it the first time, it will provide you the information after downloading that the installation is properly done. To confirm that, you can use the command pip list, and in the list you can find your Selenium with the version that has been downloaded. Okay, this was about downloading the Selenium in my systems. Now when I talk about configuring it with my Eclipse, so I'll go to my Eclipse, and in the Eclipse over here I will just make a new module by the name Selenium configuration. Okay, now whenever I'm using some external file, I have to import it into my module. So I'll say import Selenium. It's an external file, so I need to get it imported. Just to check what is related to this Selenium package, I'll simply will use it. I'll say Selenium dot, and when I press enter, it tells me 5 attributes. That is my dictionary, file, name, path and version. Okay, so I can check any of these. So if I'll just put them inside a print statement, in the same way if I also want to check the version or name, so I can say Selenium dot file. Okay, I want to check these two things for the Selenium information, so I'll run it as Python run, and you can see it's giving me the path of the Selenium where it has been installed and the path where my initial package is lying. Okay, so this is the way how we can configure Selenium in our systems. Okay, now when I talk about using the Selenium, or if I'll just take you to the official website of Selenium and over to the definition that it is automating the browser. That means Selenium is an automating testing software which is made for the browser based application. Now I have to make a connection between the browser and Selenium. So if you have gone through the last video in which the architecture has been discussed, so it was like this, that somewhere around my Selenium code is lying at my IDE. Okay, this is where my Selenium code is lying, and at the second part here is my browser. Okay, now I need to get some connection between these two. When I talk about browsers, the browsers have their own languages which is understood by their own driver classes. Okay, they have some driver classes and they understand the language of browsers. So I need to have that driver class in a system so that I can start working with my browser. So if I'll make the flow properly, okay, so how the flow is going to be? It's going to be from the Selenium code to WebDriver to the driver class, and from the driver class to the browser. Now I need to have these driver classes in my system. So from where I can get that? Let's take a look at that. I'll go back to the Selenium official website and go to the downloads part. Now over here I need to go to the browsers. Okay. Now when I talk about browsers, you can see that there are different browsers who have their different documentation. Okay. Now if I talk about, talk about them one by one. Let's talk about Firefox first. I'll click on the documentation, and in the documentation I'll go to the Gecko driver releases, and if I'll scroll down, you'll get to see that there are some zip files available. These zip files are available according to the operating system and the configuration. Now according to the operating system and the system configuration, you can download the zip file, and from the zip file you can extract the executable file. Over here in my systems, I have already extracted the file in one of my folder. This is my Gecko driver executable file. I have extracted it from the zip file. Okay, this was about Firefox driver class. Now if I go back and talk about the Chrome driver or the Chrome browser, go back to the browsers part, and in the Chrome to the documentation. When you are downloading these driver for the Chrome, you need to know the version of your Chrome, which version you are using. So you can go over these three dots at the top right, and from here you can go to the help and Google about Google Chrome, and from here you can get to know about your version. Okay, from here you will get to know, and here you have to install the zip file according to the version you are using. Okay, once the zip file is downloaded, you can extract the executable file from that and keep it in the same folder where your Gecko driver is lying. Okay, now if I'll talk about Edge as well, I'll go to the Edge part, the documentation. The same way we have checked the version for Chrome, we can check the same way the version of Edge as well, in the same way, going to the same steps, and according to that and the configuration and operating system, you can get your Edge driver installed. Okay, now when I talk about downloading the driver for Internet Explorer, it's available on this page only. If you can see, it's a different block for Internet Explorer exceptionally. So you can download it according to the configuration of your system. If you have 32-bit or if you have 64-bit, so you can download it accordingly. Okay, now when you have all your executable files ready over here to start working with, now we can start working our Selenium code and write some code or script so that we can start with our browser. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I'll make a class, let's say run. I'll work with the Chrome first, so I'll say run chtest, and inside it I'll make a function run. Okay, now since all my drivers are already available in my system, so what I need to do is I'll make a variable to define where my drivers are. So I'll simply will go over in my System Explorer. I'll copy the path from the properties and I'll paste it on my variable. Okay, just replace the slashes with double backward slash or a single forward slash. Okay, now when you have already initialized my WebDriver, that where my driver is lying for the browser, I'll specify that which browser I want to open. So I'll use a interface that is WebDriver. Now this WebDriver is a package, you can see itself. I'll import it in my module, and when I'll click on it, I'll show you the help option. So you can see over here that this WebDriver option is having this much functions so that I can work with every of the browsers. It can work with Safari, with Opera, Phantom, Internet Explorer, Firefox profiling, Firefox, Edge, Chrome, every browser that can be used to test your test cases, they all are available in this interface. Okay, now I'm using Chrome, right? So ahead it, there is another interface, that is web element interface, which is having generic functions that can be applied on all the elements that are available on the web page, and this much functions, this much actions we can take on the web page. Over here you can see we can check the current URL, then we can delete some cookies, add some cookies, find some element on the web page that's available according to the attributes, right? So these are some of the things that we can do with both of these interfaces. We'll be discussing the web element interface later on, but right now we'll be working with the WebDriver interface. So I'll make a object for it. Now as I have made the object of the WebDriver interface, I'll simply will make a object of this class since it's not a test case. So I'll say ch is equals to run ch test and ch dot this. I'll save it and I'll simply will run this code. Okay, there is one more addition over here. I have already specified my driver path, right? I need to provide it to my driver, which is the object of the interface. So I can pass it using the executable path, which is an inbuilt variable with the interface. So I'll give the path to this executable path. Now I'll run this code. Over here you can see that my Chrome browser has been launched, and after launching it properly it has closed itself. Okay, the same way we can also open different browsers. If I'll take an example of Firefox, I'll make another class. Let's say class run ff test, and inside that a different function. The same way, the same two lines will be there. I need to give the path of my driver where it's lying, and I need to pass that path to my executable path, and I'll change the name of the browser, that is Firefox. Okay, I'll change the name of the driver, that is my Gecko driver for Mozilla. The same way I have to make an object of it. F is equals to run ff test f dot. Okay, now I will comment this part and I'll run it now. Chrome driver is faster than Mozilla, so that's why the browser takes time to launch for the Mozilla Firefox. So it's taking some time. You can see my browser has been launched for Mozilla, and after successful load it will terminate my code. Okay, the same way if I'll talk about the Internet Explorer and Edge as well, so I'll say run IE test run IE. This is a function. The same two lines. I'll just will change the browser name over here, IE, and I'll copy the path of the driver from here. I'll copy it from here and I'll paste it over here. Okay, IE is equals to making an object of the class IE dot run IE. Okay, now I'll comment the Firefox because I don't want to take these browsers to open and take a long time. So now I'll run it again, and you can see that my Internet Explorer browser has been opened. Fine. The same way we'll do with the Edge driver now. I'll go back to my Eclipse, class run edge test, and inside this function I'll be making I'll copy it from here and I'll simply paste it. Okay, I'll change the browser name from here. It will be Edge now, and will copy the name of this driver and I'll paste it in my Eclipse. Okay, E is equals to run edge test and E dot run edge. Now only my edge browser will open, and after successful load the termination of the code will be done. You can see my edge browser is opening now. So you have seen that how easy it is to use this WebDriver and make our drivers open and automate, right? This was just an example how you can start with any of the browser that you are running. If I'll talk about the rest of the browsers that have been displayed over here, the Safari and Opera. So these two browsers are such browsers which do not work with the very simple codes, and they are not stable for that, for the simple codes. They are used when we have a complex code, and they provide stability to those kind of codes. Okay, so now if I'll go back to my code, and since in this you have seen that all my browsers have been opened, I'll take an example of any of the browser. Let's take the example of Firefox, and over here we are just opening the browser, right? Suppose I have to go to some URL. How I can do that? I'll use the object of my interface WebDriver, and using it I'll say driver dot get URL. This is a function, inbuilt function to use it, and inside this get I need to give some URL. So I'll take the URL from here. Just wait. From here, let's say Google. Okay, I'll copy the path from here and I'll paste it over here. Okay, one thing more that I want to inform you, that when I was opening and showing you the browsers launch, that how successfully browsers are being launched, you must have observed that my Chrome and the Edge, after proper launch, they both got automatically closed, but my Firefox and Internet Explorer tabs are still open. Over here at the bottom you can see, so they both are open till now. So I don't want both some browsers to be open like this. So what I'll do is I'll put some pause over the command, that just wait for this much seconds so that I can see whether my code has been properly ran or not, either my URL has properly launched or not, and after that automatically just quit my browser. Okay, this is what it's better to use that you always use this command. By using this command, the code once run will be successfully running, and once it's completely loaded and done, the browser will be closed from the screen as well and from the task manager as well. Okay, so if I'll now run this test code, or if I'll run this script now, so just pay attention that it will be automatically closed now. Okay, it takes some time to open the Mozilla Firefox browser. You can see it's opening the browser and going to the URL that I have specified. See, it went to Google, it loaded properly, it will wait for 3 seconds and will close it automatically. Okay, so this is how you can run some test cases and go to some URLs. Likewise, we can work with more things on the web page, but for that we need to understand how we can identify the different elements. We'll be covering that topic in the coming videos. But I told you that there are two ways by which you can initialize the variables. Okay, So what is the second way if I'll talk about? So let's just take another variable. I'll not remove it, or let's just take this variable only, the path only. Now when I have to use the second way, for that I have to get a package installed, that is my OS. And using this OS package, I'll use my environment variable, and inside that I'll specify that webdriver dot driver is equals to Firefox. This is what I need to specify, equals to path. Okay, and now I will not be required to give this in the argument list. I can simply run it. Okay, now I'll save this code. Okay, now so it will be like webdriver dot chrome, sorry, it's Firefox, so I'll say Firefox dot driver. Now I'll save this code and I'll run it. Now you can see that my Mozilla Firefox browser has been launched, and it's going to the URL that I have specified. It will wait for 3 seconds and will automatically quit my browser once the page is properly loaded. Okay, so you can see it automatically got closed. Now this is the way, this is the second way that you can initialize your WebDriver. But the question arises over here that I am initializing the driver everywhere that I'm making the script. So the question is that, is it compulsory to do it every time? When I'm even making some test cases, do I have to specify every time? So the answer to this question is no, because it's also possible if you can add these web drivers, these driver classes in your environment variables in your system, you can definitely use it very well. So if I'll go on my environment variables, I'll open it. I'll say environment variables. Now over in the environment variables, I'll go over here, and in the path I'll edit it. Now you can see over here at the last that I have already added the whole folder where my drivers are lying. Over here I have shown you in the starting that I have kept it in a folder C drive, in the web drivers folder. So all my drivers are over here, and I have added the whole folder over here. So if any case I'm giving any another browser as well, so that is also going to work. So let's just check that if I'm not specifying any of the browser name, will it be able to run or not. So I'll remove it from here. Now instead of Firefox, I'll try to run the Internet Explorer. So I'll uncomment it. I'll remove it from here and from here as well. What I need to have is these 3 actions, because I don't want extra browsers to be open after their execution. Okay, now I need to check this whether it opens or not. So I'll run it again. So you can see Internet Explorer has been opened and it went to the URL that I have given. It will wait for some seconds and will automatically close my browser. Okay, just wait for a while. So you can see it automatically closed my browser. So these are some of the ways how you can initialize your web drivers, or you can add it in your environment variables. By doing this, you can run all your test cases and the scripts. This was all about today's video. Do practice it and we'll see it in the next video. Till time, thank you.